forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. Here we go on the return from the 1-yard line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Open man, that's Malik Neighbors. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a gain of 34.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now back to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Hey, look at this defense for the Vikings. They're a top 5 unit right now against the pass in the league. In fact, they sit at number 5.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
That's complete. It's Neighbors. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 36. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. A short one here, caught by McBride. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Well, whatever script they put together for this offensive drive, Charles, seems to be working. I'm curious to see if this defense will make any adjustments here.
Things certainly going according to plan, aren't they? I mean, the way they're advancing the football, it's like they're on the practice field having one of their better days. But instead, it's game day, and they're moving the ball downfield with purpose.
And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Another run here with Benson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Out of the gun now on 3rd down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for him. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
Tucker's kick is good, and the Ravens strike first at 3's him. Well, given where they started that opening drive, CD, I think to get 3 out of it, probably a pretty good start that they'll take.
I think you're exactly right about that because they just shook off the effects of the kickoff in field position and took the ball and moved it downfield. Didn't pay off with a touchdown, but that drive, that was really nice for them, and they did come away with 3 points.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. They run with a dangerous Saquon Barkley. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Throwing is McCarthy. This one goes out wide for Barkley. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. 3rd and 7 now.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay game.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Now McCarthy. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either.
They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
On first down, it's Benson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Second and 13. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. And look at this defense for the Vikings. They've been a very good unit against the pass, defending at 5th best in the league.
And since this is such a good unit at covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring it down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th. And here's Matt Ariza now. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And it'll be a minimum pickup here as it will take us to the end of the first quarter. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Second and 9 now from the 21. Going underneath, he's got Hockenson. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well. A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, Sometimes the lineman can wander downfield, and if you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice game.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Now a quick throw into the hands of Jefferson. And Jefferson's going to have the Vikings first down as he'll be brought down just shy of midfield. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. 2 first downs have them up near midfield now on 1st and 10. It's Barkley on the counter. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. Brian Branch from the secondary in on the tackle. The Vikings at 8-1 on the year. And they come in feeling pretty good after back-to-back victories, CD.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And they put it on the ground here on the second drive. And, of course, Charles, that follows drive number 1 where they had the INT. Makes you wonder what's going on with this team because a lot of times we can attribute it to nerves. But maybe it's a lack of focus. Maybe it's the preparation for the game. Maybe they just came into a little lackadaisical because that's just not looking good at all. That's just not the football that we came here to see. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. They'll look to throw here. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up. No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad. Yeah. They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th. Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside. On 4th down, Matt Ariza sent on to punt. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And job 1 here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point. You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense. I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play. They'll send a receiver in motion left. And he'll get an opportunity with it on the touch pass. And a great job there to read that one defensively. They strung him out, would not allow him to cut upfield. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a 1st down. On play action, McCarthy. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down. But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points. 2nd and 10. Here's McCarthy. Complete. Jefferson the target. Oh, he faked it with a juke. Now he's got some room. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
That's good. For the Vikings, first down.
To the air with McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
Complete to T.J. Hawkinson. 10 yards on the
Here's a tap forward by McCarthy on the touch pass. And he gets it down to the 32. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. To the air again, McCarthy. On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
And their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
This one brought in by Jefferson. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw McCarthy. And he whips that one incomplete there.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Back to throw again. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Tucker. Now 3rd down and 7.
That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd.
McCarthy operating from the gun. Here's Tucker, complete on the right side. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. And his kick is good. But now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. And this is going to be roughing the kicker, an inexcusable penalty, Charles.
You've worked so hard to hold him to a 3-point kick. Now you're giving him the ball again with a chance for a touchdown.
So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. A final shot before break. McCarthy. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. T.J. Hawkinson in the final seconds of the first half. And the Vikings have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. A try here for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. And that one going to hop into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they'll have time for one play. There's 2 seconds on the clock. They'll throw now on the final play. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Now a 2nd and 10. On play action, now McCarthy. Open man is Tucker. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Good work after the catch. Going to net him 23 and a first.
Well, every now and then I can speak from experience because I do know as a defender it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Running again with Barkley on 2nd down. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Looking to throw. McCarthy. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Buying time to his left. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. The slot man in motion right. He's going to handle it on the touch pass. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
And on 3rd and 5, this will be the 8th play of the drive. Sticking with a pass, here's McCarthy. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
From the shotgun, McCarthy. And he fires one incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Touchdown, Vikings! Justin Jefferson, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Now the try here for the point after. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taking it about the 1. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge and opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a 2-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome, a little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. And he'll get it here on the touch pass. Room past the 35. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 27 yards there, a first down. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion,
pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him, but even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. They'll set up to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD. That's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over him.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And unable to connect, incomplete. Give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to kick it away. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Just a 25-yard punt, not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Throwing is McCarthy. And that is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Back to throw. McCarthy. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 45-yard line.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A first down carry for Barkley. And shedding through the tackle. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out. Now a 2nd and 2. Now a toss right to Barkley. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Big strides, look at him go. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. T.J. Hockenson, his 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Vikings are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Point after try forthcoming. And it's 21-3. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one. They'll probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. Here's 2nd and 3. They'll drop to throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
And this is a situation where as a head coach you're just saying, what else could go wrong? Let's get it all out of our system, please. This has been a sloppy game throughout. The execution has been lacking. A lot of mistakes, both mental and physical. And here's a big play that goes by the wayside.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Open man here is Benson. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Running out of the gun here with Benson. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. 2nd and 13. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. Now a pause, and there's an injured Raven in need of some assistance. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. He'll drop to throw. Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. Second and goal. They're going to look to throw.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
This defense has not surrendered a touchdown yet. You better believe they're determined not to here on third and goal. They'll look to throw again. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. So now fourth and goal. You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. There's Flowers. He's got it. Touchdown, Ravens. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Ravens are finally into the end zone here in this fourth quarter. Tucker with the extra point, and it makes the score 21-10.
21, Ravens 10. Jake Moody to kick off.
So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. And no chance to see a return on the dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball. And a lot of times, these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Second and a couple. Now McCarthy. This one goes out wide for Barkley. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Working out of the gun is McCarthy. It's Barkley once again bringing in the catch. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. And they'll run with Tucker. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. And now they'll stop play here, at least momentarily. A member of the Vikings in some discomfort after that last play. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. And this offense on third down today, they have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. Hard throw, incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple of big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. Going quickly out to the right side. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Here's McCarthy. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Here's 2nd and 10. That one looks like he'll throw here. And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. McCarthy operating from the gun. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. Going for it. Here's McCarthy. That is caught. And he will have the first down. And even with the 3 timeouts on the other side, they're going to be able to run this nearly all the way down now.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Throwing again, McCarthy. And he rifles one incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. A give to Barkley out of the gun. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Looking to throw McCarthy. Flushed out right. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. It'll be a sack and a loss of 3, but more importantly, it brings up 4th down. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. It's a 39-yard attempt, right hash. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
At their own 20-yard line.
This is 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. That one into the hands of Flowers. Now whistles and a timeout called here. Not sure of the point of this, but they'll stop it with 4 seconds to go in the game. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. So it's a win for the Vikings, and it was all thanks to the play of their veteran quarterback.
Yeah, he was just on target all afternoon with 3 touchdown passes. They couldn't find a way to stop him, and ultimately, he guided them to victory.